Paragraph 6. Two other hypotheses attempt to explain the increased abundance of canthaster after episodes of high terrestrial runoff following storms. Here, the verb attempt is the main verb, and attempt belongs to the category of verbs that are followed by infinitives, by to plus ber form of the verb. Here, after attempt, we have to explain. Unlike attempt, unlike its synonym, the verb try, which is followed either by gerund, ing form, or infinitives, to plus verb, is always followed by infinitives, attempt to do. And please make a mental note of this collocation aspect of the verb attempt when you use it. Attempt to do, not attempt doing, attempt to do. Episodes here means periods, means time intervals, and you can make a mental note of the verb episodes and use it for your writing task, for your speaking task, to give a degree of variety to your sentences instead of repeating only periods or time intervals. Following the storms, this clause can be interpreted in two different ways. The first interpretation is that following the storms is a prepositional phrase, because following here, following is a preposition like concerning, like on, like off, like in. So this is a restrictive prepositional phrase. I accentuate restrictive because it has not been set up by commas. This clause can also be interpreted as a reduced relative clause. In this interpretation, the sentence has been episodes of high terrestrial runoff, which follows storms, and when you eliminate which to add more fluency to your sentence, the verb follow clunks to the relative pronoun of which turns into its gerund form, and it becomes following. So we have after episodes of high terrestrial runoff following the storms. To explore this sentence in terms of vocabulary, the word runoff is the most interesting one, according to me, because you'll encounter it frequently in TOEFL materials. Runoff means that falling water on the ground after a period of raining, which has not been penetrated into the ground, which has not been sunk. So this water follows on the ground and is called runoff. Another interesting word here is hypothesis. Hypothesis is a Latin-rooted word. It's a Latin plural, and its singular form is hypothesis. Here I have provided a list of well-known such words, such Latin-rooted words, and the way they are become plural. Hypothesis, hypotheses, analysis, analyses, basis, bases, diagnosis, diagnoses, emphasis, emphases, oosis, oosis, parenthesis, parentheses. I would like to add another one: crisis, crisis, crises. Some of these words are worth meaning and discussing their meaning, because you may encounter them actually in the TOEFL exam. Hypothesis, analysis, and basis are more familiar to you. But diagnosis is one of those words that you may encounter frequently when you prepare for the TOEFL exam or in the real TOEFL exam. Diagnosis means disease detection, fault detection, particularly. This is a practice particularly done by medical doctors. Emphasis here means stress underscore placing stress, placing significance on something. Oasis is a geographical term. It's a geographical phenomenon. It refers to a place within a desert where water is found, and around that water body you can see a small, modest living established. You can see trees, vegetables. This is called oasis, and in plural form you pronounce it oases. Parenthesis stress is on the letter R, parenthesis, and in plural form it is parentheses. Parenthesis, it is this punctuation symbol. And finally, crisis, which turns into crises when it becomes plural. Crisis refers to a time of great danger or difficulty. The second sentence, the first hypothesis is that low salinity and high temperatures favor the survival of starfish larvae. That here is the complement for the verb is and introduces a sentence that sentence describes what the first hypothesis is. The verb favor here means to help, to support. Low salinity and high temperatures favor or support or help the survival of the starfish larvae. Salinity here means the quality of being salty. For example, to reduce the salinity of water means to make water be less salty. The last sentence is a long one, and in order to further analyze it and examine it, I will transfer it to the Word document. The second hypothesis emphasizes the food web aspect, suggesting that the strong freshwater runoff brings additional nutrients to the coastal waters, stimulating phytoplankton production and promoting more rapid development and better survival of the starfish larvae. Here, the verb emphasize is the main verb. This sentence is a complex sentence because it is made of this independent clause and two dependent clauses. Here, one dependent clause and another. The second clause here can be interpreted in two ways. If we want to achieve the original sentence, we can look at this clause as a reduced one, as if actually a reduced relative clause, or emerging one. In the case of reduced clause, we have actually this original sentence. That says the second hypothesis emphasizes the food web aspect, which suggests that a strong freshwater. This relative pronoun refers to the entire preceding clause here, and this is a rule of thumb to add fluency to the sentence by eliminating the relative pronoun and changing the active verb clung to it into its gerund form. We eliminate which and add ing to suggest. And it turns into the current sentence here. Also, we can look at this clause as a merging one. Yeah, as I discussed in the previous paragraphs, merging happens when we have two independent clauses, and two independent clauses are connected together. Are actually we actually consider these two independent clauses when they are separated with a full stop here, when we have a semicolon, or when they are connected with a coordinating conjunction here, like we have and. In each of these sentences, it here refers to the subject of its previous independent clause, that is the second hypothesis. And so now that it refers to the same subject, we can eliminate it, and we can remove the full stop and turn it into a comma, and the active verb remaining is changed into its ing form, into its gerund form. Suggesting. In this case, we remove and then it together. We don't touch comma. This is exactly what we want to maintain. Remove s and add ing. Now we examine the last clause here, stimulating phytoplankton production and promoting more rapid development and a better survival of the starfish larvae. This clause, like the second clause, can be discussed from two different perspectives. The first one is that this is a reduced version of a non-restrictive relative clause. You know, this could have been in this form, which stimulates phytoplankton production and promotes more rapid development and better survival of the starfish larvae, which here refers to the preceding clause that says freshwater runoff brings additional nutrients to the coastal waters. When we eliminate the relative pronoun, the active verbs stimulates and promotes changing to gerunds. Stimulating and promotes, changing to promoting. The second way examining the last clause is doing so from a merging standpoint. I mean, this sentence, you know, here, this clause could have been, it stimulates, could have been this clause. It stimulates phytoplankton production and promotes more rapid development and better survival of the starfish larvae. So since it here refers to strong freshwater runoff, we can eliminate it and remove the semicolon and replace it with comma, and change the verb stimulate and promote into their gerund forms. Stimulate, promoting. Now we reached this sentence. Question 8. What can be inferred from paragraph 6 about the diet of acanthaster larvae? Here, immediately after larvae, we need a question mark. Okay, my apologies. Our general strategy to answer this question is rejecting the incorrect options rather than isolating and finding the correct one. So with this in mind, we check the options. The first one, phytoplankton, is an important food source for them. Let's go back to paragraph 6 and find where in this paragraph we can gain information about the diet of acanthaster larvae. Here we have information about the conditions of low salinity and high temperatures for the survival. This is the first hypothesis. In the second hypothesis, this second hypothesis emphasizes the food web aspect. So this is a keyword, food. We have found the keyword. So we read the sentence, and we understand that according to this hypothesis, a strong freshwater runoff brings additional nutrients to the coastal waters where acanthaster larvae live. There, this strong freshwater runoff bringing additional nutrients stimulates phytoplankton production and promotes more rapid development and better survival of the starfish larvae. So we understand from this sentence that phytoplankton production is important for the survival of starfish larvae. So perhaps they feed on phytoplankton. And as a result, we understand that the more the presence of phytoplanktons in coastal waters, the better the survival of the starfish larvae. So this option here seems reasonable, and we keep it as a candidate for an answer, and we go further to check other options. The second option, a stormwater runoff washes away important nutrients they need. They refers to acanthaster larvae here, and we know that larvae is plural. This is Latin plural. This option does not hold logic according to the information in paragraph 6, because it actually states something that has been put in paragraph 6 conversely. Paragraph 6 believes that a stormwater runoff brings additional nutrients to the coastal water, and these additional nutrients are essential for the survival of acanthaster larvae. So a stormwater runoff does not wash away, does not take important nutrients from coastal waters where acanthaster larvae live. This option does not true, so we reject it. The third option, when water temperature rises, they have difficulty finding enough food. In the paragraph, there was not any tie between water temperature and food foraging, food finding. So this option is rejected. The only thing that we have about the temperature is that according to the first hypothesis, increasing in temperature helps the survival of the starfish larvae. But we don't have any connection between temperature and food finding. So the third option is rejected. Now we check the last option. Storms add needed salt to their diet. There refers to actually acanthaster larvae's diet. Yeah. There is no connection, according to paragraph 6, between a storm's runoff and needed salt for the survival of acanthaster larvae, for the diet of acanthaster larvae. The only things that we know about the storm is that storm runoff bring additional nutrients to coastal waters where acanthaster larvae live, and these additional nutrients uh, help the growth of the growth of phytoplanktons on which acanthaster larvae feed. And the information about the salt that we can absorb from the paragraph is that low salinity is useful for the survival of acanthaster larvae. But this paragraph doesn't discuss the needed salt for the diet of acanthaster larvae. So this option, like the third option, is rejected because we cannot infer such a connection between storms and the needed amount of salt for the diet of acanthaster larvae. And finally, the first option is actually the correct choice.